Instead of being in an evidence locker, dozens of cell phones, laptops, and even a gun were all found in an investigator's desk drawer. If you're wondering how, it was all discovered by accident. A desk drawer holding more than just files of paperwork, 30 phones, a pistol, 2 laptops, even a hard drive. All pieces of evidence were stuffed in a drawer at the Bibb County Sheriff's Office with no record of what cases they're connected to.
I cannot speculate, nor will I speculate, where these phones came from because I have no idea.
According to a police report, in May 2022, investigators were searching an office at 111 3rd Street for keys after another investigator's car was totaled in a crash. But as they pulled drawers open, they found more than they were bargaining for. Evidence left sitting out and laying around.
Not a normal practice for evidence in the Bibb County Sheriff's Office.
Well, not typically, no.
The office belonged to Sergeant Omar Sanders. At the time, Sanders was on administrative leave, not for mishandling evidence, but for mishandling an underage person of interest. An internal affairs report says Sergeant Sanders was facing termination for leaving a pregnant teen locked in an interrogation room for 21 hours in March of that same year. In June, he was let go. While the details of Sanders' missteps with the underage girl were shared with the media, the information about evidence found in his office wasn't. Sheriff David Davis says the public wasn't alerted because there's no clear information to share.
We don't know if it belongs to your case or not. Once again, we sent out a press release that we found a bunch of phones in somebody's desk after they left. Find a bunch of phones and a gun in a desk after somebody's gone. Well, the first logical question is, how did it get there? What are these items connected to? We don't know. We cannot provide that information until we get a clear picture of what cases and where these items came from. There's really no information we can give out.
But a man who literally wrote the book on how law enforcement should communicate with the media says the discovery was something Sheriff Davis should have considered getting out in front of.
That sounds like an officer misconduct.
Chief Christopher Cook is the author of The Art of Strategic Communication. He has a long resume when it comes to sharing information from the police to the public, serving as the past president of the National Information Officers Association and the past president of the Major City Chiefs PIO Committee.
It's better to acknowledge once, especially if you know this for sure, yeah, these are the facts and this is what's occurred. It's better to acknowledge and then also say what you're going to do about it. What protocols are you going to put in place to prevent this? Maybe even a statement that we're going to work with the district attorney's office to see if any of these items of evidence are tied to those cases. Because if I'm a defense attorney and I hear this news story, I'm probably going to find out, well, who's the officer or who the sergeant is, and I'm going to try to impeach their credibility, right? And that might impact prosecutions down the road.
Though Sanders was gone, the May 2022 discovery wouldn't be the last time Sheriff Davis uncovered unaccounted evidence. In October 2023, more mismanaged evidence almost led to the release of 2 murder suspects in a case Sanders investigated. At the time, Sheriff Davis didn't comment on the error, but District Attorney Anita R. Howard did.
It was a mismanagement. I think there could have been better communication.
The DA went on to share that her office would be forming a task force to look at cases dating back to 2022, even though Sheriff Davis says he previously told DA Howard that Sergeant Sanders had a track record of poorly storing evidence, making that task force a year and a half too late. I reached out to District Attorney Howard asking whether she knew of evidence mismanaged by Sanders or any other investigator outside of the October event. Her office didn't respond. After learning of the more than 30 pieces of evidence found in the sergeant's office, I emailed Howard again, asking if she'd been made aware of the discovery back when it happened, even questioning if Sanders was being investigated because of it. Again, silence. In a third attempt, I emailed the DA's office to confirm whether that task force is up and running, again asking if her office is aware of the mishandled evidence found in May 2022. Her office responded. Cindy Adams, the chief of personnel, policy, and programming, wrote that a task force to make sure all evidence is accounted for in murder cases that were turned over to the DA before September 2022 was established in October 2023. She added that a different task force, the Intake Investigative Unit, was created in the summer of 2022 to ensure prosecutors can meet their burden of beyond a reasonable doubt in court. But again, the office didn't answer whether it was familiar with the more than 30 pieces of mishandled evidence found at the sheriff's office. For Davis, he believes the actions of one investigator have ended up reflecting poorly on his entire office, so they've reviewed policies and made changes.
We've instituted a review system to where that whenever a case is sent to the DA's office, we make sure that all of the components of it, the evidence part, the incident reports, the witness statements, all of that all goes together.
For WGXA Investigates, I'm Brittany Miller.